All right, it's day 24. So I promised that we're gonna try to work up to some trickier postures. Today, we're gonna work on arm balances. So you've been preparing by practicing chaturanga, by becoming more aware of your posture, to be able to change your body's position in space, still be aware of your muscles supporting you instead of sinking into your joints. We're gonna take that lesson, turning the body, and learning to balance on our arms. All right, so let me know how it goes today. Leave a comment below, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel. All right, hey, just a reminder, you need to do the warm-up video for this week. If you are attempting this video without having to do the warm-up video, turn it off immediately. Go back and do day 22's warm-up video, then come back to this video. Okay, disclaimer. Then lie down onto your back. Take your palms to your side, hands to your side, palms facing up. Feel the chest open. Feel the spine release into its length. So let's even do a little arching for the lower back. So as you exhale, flatten your lower back towards the floor. As you inhale, reach the tip of the tailbone down so your lower back arches. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And then bring your pelvis into neutral. Take your arms straight up. So I know we've already done a little bit of this in the warm-up video, but super important for arm balances is that you have an awareness of what happens with your upper chest and your shoulders. So stretch your arms up to the ceiling and take the hands like they're doing plank. But at the same time, let your arm bones drop back down to the floor so that here across the top of your chest you're as wide as you can be. Then push the ceiling up, spread your shoulder blades, and feel across your back body you're as wide as you could be. Then sink the arms back down and spread the upper chest as wide as it can be. Suck the arm bones back in. Then press the ceiling up feeling, spread the upper back, spread the shoulder blades, lengthen the back of the skull away from the buttock, and the buttocks away from the back of the skull. Then suck the arm bones back down, and then come into neutral. Okay, just wanted you to feel that. Now roll over to your side, come onto your hands and your knees. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Then we're just gonna do that same thing. It's not quite cat-cow like we've done in the past. So press the floor down, spread your upper back. Then suck the arm bones in and spread the upper chest. Press the hands down, spread the upper back. Let the arm bones drop in, spread the collarbones. All right, then come into neutral. And just so we make sure that we get the wrists nice and flexible, make circles with your right hand, and then circles the other way. Set that hand down, circles with the left hand, wrist, and then circles the other way. Turn the hands around so that the thumbs point out and the fingers point back. Put a micro bend in your elbows. Now spread across the tops of the shoulder blades and the chest as much as you can, upper back and chest. So you're not letting yourself sink or round. And stretch the fingers towards your knees. And breathe. And then turn your hands around. Curl your toes under. Practice keeping a neutral spine as you swing the hips back. Stretch down into your middle three knuckles. Lift through your forearms to your wrists. Keep the chest open and upper back broad as you stretch back into dog. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Place your hands onto your outer hips and come up to stand. Let's take a few standing postures just to make sure that the back body is nice and open before we start these arm balances. It's going to be important. So we'll start with standing tree. Bring your right heel up onto the inside of your left thigh. Interlock your fingers with the right index finger on top. Open up your chest, stand tall, and raise your arms. Let the spine release into its length upward as you stretch down to the center of your left heel. Spin your outer upper arms forward as you reach to the inner hand. Feel the back of the neck open when you spin your outer arms forward, tricep side. And breathe. Bring your arms back down. Lower your leg down. Change sides. Bring your left heel up, inside of the right thigh. Interlock the fingers, left index finger on top. Turn your palms inside out and raise your arms. Turn the outer upper arms forward. Feel the back of the neck broaden. Now reach up through the inner hand. Lengthen the arm muscles as the inner arm bone drops back down. Stretch the arms long as you let the bone drop into the socket. Bring your arms back down. Lower your leg down. Stand in mountain pose. Stand tall. All right, now set up your blocks for standing poses if you've been using the blocks or not. Separate your feet wide apart. Stand tall. Root through your feet, spread, stretch your toes, spread your arms. Let's take Utthita Trikonasana. Turn the left foot in a little, turn your right leg all the way out. Reach out over your straight right leg. Place your hand down, put your top hand on your hip. Lift through the sacrum, lift through your lower belly, and elongate the spine. Breathe the body open, breathe length into the spine. Then roll your chest open and take your left arm up. Press into your feet, come back up to stand. Turn your right foot in, turn your left leg all the way out. Inhale, spread your arms. Exhale, reach out over your leg. Put your top hand on your hip. Lift through the sacrum so that your butt's not tucked under. Lift through the front of the pelvis, lift your belly, open your chest. Turn your chest and take your arm up. Notice in your body where it feels sticky. See if you can use your breath to open up the sticky parts so the whole body feels like it's being breathed open. Press down into your feet. Inhale, come back up. Let's see if we can go a little bit lower this round. So if you were on the tall block, we'll put it to the medium. If you're already on the medium block, see if you can put your hand on the floor. First, make sure that the sacrum hasn't tucked under. Move the sacrum in and up. Lift your belly, open your chest. Feel the length of the spine. Then turn the chest, take the arm up. Press into your feet, come back up to stand, and change sides. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, reach out over your leg. Put your hand down. Bring your thumb to your sacrum. Feel that the sacrum, the thick bony part of the top of your butt, is moving in and up so that the spine can lengthen. If it pulls under to your butt, it's going to pull you all under. So lift through the sacrum, but then couple that with the navel moving up. Breathe. Take your arm up. Reach into your feet, come back up. Parallel your feet, stand tall. Bring your legs together, stand in mountain. Extended side angle, separate your feet wide apart. Turn your legs, left foot in a little, right leg all the way out. Bend your right knee. Put your hand down. Take your top arm over your ear. Look down at your front leg. Make sure that the center ankle, center knee, and center hip are all lined up. Put your thumb on your sacrum, take it in and up, open your chest. Okay, arm overhead. Inhale back up. Turn your feet to the other side. Bend the knee. Put your hand down. Look at your leg as you're reaching out over it. Center ankle, center knee, center hip. All on a track. Lift through the sacrum so that the lumbar spine is long, not pulled under. Pull the belly up so you're not sinking into any of the joints when you move the sacrum. Open the chest. Take your arm over your ear. Use your breath to open up any sticky parts. Oh, I can feel on this side I'm real tight through the outer hip and through the armpit chest. So I'm just gonna breathe the spine long and keep reaching through the heel and reaching through the fingertips. See if you can drop your thigh a little deeper, but keep stretching the line from your back leg to your fingers. Inhale, come back up. Turn your feet in so they're parallel. Step your legs together. Stand tall. Let's do warrior one now. Let's do this like the real deal style. Why not? Okay, so bring your fingertips together at the center of your chest, chest open. Then, with a hop, separate the feet wide apart. Spread the arms. Simultaneously, we're going to take the arms up as we turn for warrior one. Stretch your back leg. Now lift your chest and lean your head back. Bring the palms together. But keep lifting up. Don't sink back. Bend your right knee. Inhale, come back up. Turn to the other side. Raise your arms. Bend your left knee. Inhale, come back up. Parallel your feet. Stand tall. Bring your hands to your hips. Step your legs together. Mountain pose. Parsvottanasana. Let's do it up on blocks. Take your blocks up at the front of your mat. Step your feet in between your blocks. And take a step back with your left foot about 3.5 feet. Put your hands on your hips. If you're really tight in your back body and your hamstrings, put a little bend in your knee and tip forward from your pelvis. Come up onto the blocks and the fingertips and make sure that you can get a flat back. Sometimes it's hard to feel. We haven't trained ourselves to feel where the body is in space, to properly perceive the body in space. So if that's the case, you can always look in a mirror to see if you're able to get a flat back in this position, since you don't have a teacher to come check you. As you reach down into your right foot, start to lift from above the knee up into the hip socket, as long as it doesn't round your back. Keep the spine long as you pull up. Then put your hand, press into your feet. Inhale, come back up to stand, Step your left foot forward. Step your right foot back. Inhale, open your chest. Put a little bend in the front knee if you need it. and start to tip from your pelvis. Put the fingertips down. Feel the spine elongate, as if the tailbone's reaching back, sit bone's aiming back. Stretch down into your foot as you draw up through above the kneecap up into your hip socket. Let your left hip crease release back as you stretch through the sides of your waist. Then hands on your hips, come back up to stand, step your right foot forward. Change sides, step the left foot back, hands on the hips, tip from your pelvis. Inhale. And exhale, round the head towards the shin, take the blocks back or put the hands flat. Inhale, come back up. Change sides. Left foot forward. Hands on the blocks. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, blocks go back, head goes down, or hands go to the floor. Inhale, back up. Parallel your feet. Open up your chest with your hands on your hips, then tip with the hands on the hips and fold forward. Prasarita. Set your fingertips down. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale, walk the hands back. Let your head drop. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to your hips. Come up to stand. Step to the front of the mat. All right, I think we're ready. Body feels nice and loose and warmed up. So let's start to attempt the first arm balance. But before we do that, let's just make sure that our chaturanga situation, arms can strengthen, which you already practiced in the warm-up for today. So that's good, but let's just return one more time. Put your fingertips so that the middle finger is pointing to your block, hands shoulder distance. Now lean forward, set the shoulder heads on the blocks. Oh, mine's a little wide. And spread across your collarbones as you draw your navel up. Elongate your spine and see if you can curl your toes and straighten your knees. Okay, now without the shoulders rolling in, squeeze in your armpits. Back of the armpits, pull your navel up, and lift yourself up into plank. Then stretch back. Okay, if that's going well, then you're ready to arm balance. If you find that that's not going well and the lower knees chaturanga push-ups isn't going well yet, like you're rounding over, the head is losing its position, then you're probably not ready to practice these poses yet. Just work on those ones instead. Again, that's the disclaimer. Check yourself in the mirror, see how it looks, and then we'll try this stuff. Okay, so for this first arm balance, we're gonna practice crow pose. I'll show it from the side first, then from the front. We're gonna use a block, we're gonna perch ourselves up. So actual translation is crane, Bakasana, crane pose. Okay, so I'm taking my heels, or my toe mounds up onto this block, the heels lift and I squat down. The knees go wide like Baddha Konasana, and then I'm gonna round over. So in this position, I want the sit bones to release down and the navel release into the spine. The back of the skull and the sacrum are lengthening away from each other. But the collarbones stay broad as I spread the back body. I don't let the chest sink in or the shoulders roll into my ears. So I have this posture with the chest and the length of the neck. Then I hook the knees into the outer upper arms. I lean into my hands, And I'm basically just going to repeat a high chaturanga. I lean into the hands so much and I pull my belly in so that I can lift my feet. Then I set the toes back down. Okay, so that's kind of like a lazy crow or crane. Eventually I start to slide my knees up more like this so that the posture looks more like this and eventually has straighter arms. But we'll just start there. Do you want to see what it looks like from the front? Okay, I'll show you. So you can practice one more time. Feet up on the block. Now turn this around, turn your palms up so you externally rotate the arms, chest open. Keep the rotation of the upper arm as you turn the hands. Lean into the hands. Sit the butt towards the heels, heels to the butt. Ooh. Squeeze in with your knees and pull your belly up. And set your feet down. Okay, so that's like your foundation for all your arm balances. If you want to get really good at arm balancing, get really strong at that and crow pose. Let's try one other arm balance. Sit with your legs wide apart, Upavista Konasana. Open up your chest and sit tall. And then tip forward. If possible, put your forearms on a block. Okay, so here's the other thing about the trickier arm balances. That one, you don't need that much flexibility. In this next one, you don't need a ton of flexibility because the knees are bent. But in some of the arm balances, you start to extend your legs. So those arm balances, you need the strength of chaturanga, but then you need the flexibility in your back body to be able to do like Parsvottanasana, like the standing pose we did right before. You need to be able to like fold all the way forward and put your head on your shin with ease and be able to breathe. If you're not able to do that yet, you're not going to be able to do the fancy arm balances. If you if you do attempt them, then it's going to look really gnarly and you'll probably be like struggling and muscling it, which I don't recommend. So that's why we recommend in yoga perfecting or becoming very familiar with all the poses like you've been learning in the 30-day challenge to perfect the standing poses before you attempt the more difficult asanas, poses. Okay, let's try the next one. This one's called Titibhasana. Okay, so for this one, my feet go outer hips distance, belly draws in action. I'm gonna slide one shoulder behind my leg and then the other shoulder behind the leg. And then I take a breath. So for this one, obviously, you need a really good forward fold. Then I put my hands right behind my feet. I start to sit the buttock back, and then I wiggle the heels towards each other. The belly draws in, the upper back is broad, but also the collarbones. And then I'm just gonna lean the weight into my hands, cross my feet, and hold. So it's really just all about balance. I have enough strength in my arms to be able to balance on them, enough ability to flex the spine, and then just hold myself. And I can just hang out here for a few minutes, have a conversation with you, whatever I gotta do. Oh wait, this one's called Bhujapiddasana. Okay, then from Bhujapiddasana, if you have the flexibility, which I don't very much, you could straighten the legs and then come back down. If the person has more flexible hamstrings, then that looks like so easy, but my hamstrings aren't as flexible as they used to be. Just have to accept it. Okay, or practice more standing poses. Stretch back to down dog. In tomorrow's video, we're gonna try one other arm balance. So I hope you're stoked on that. Okay, so with all this like hunched over positions, we're just gonna do a little to open up on the back now. So lie down on your back to open up on your back. Take your arms out to the side. Take your feet the width of the mat and let your right knee drop over towards your left ankle. And then you can also cross your left ankle onto the outside of your right knee to intensify the stretch. But if it makes your low back hinge, I wouldn't do it. Come back to center and change sides. Bring your legs back to center. Gently hug the knees into your chest. Keep the left knee hugged in as you stretch your right leg out. Change legs. Hug the right knee in as you stretch your left leg out. And stretch both legs out, Shavasana, corpse pose. On your next inhalation, fill the lungs slowly from the bottom. Let the middle lungs spread. Let the top lungs open. And then as you exhale, exhale just the top of the lungs and pause. Then exhale the middle lungs. Pause. Let the air out of the bottom lungs. Pause. Take the breath back in. Let the lungs open. Bottom, middle, top. Pause. Let the air out of the top of the lungs. Pause. Middle. Pause. Bottom. Pause. Do 2 more breath cycles like that. Nice and slow, no strain. Keep the face and the jaw relaxed, the shoulders relaxed. Cool the nervous system as you take these breaths. One more time. And let go of the breath control. And just observe the effects of your Viloma Pranayama. Notice how the nerves feel. Observe the current mental state. Notice the quality of your breath. Gently bend your knees. Roll to your right side. And press up. Namaste.